Good morning, students. Let me continue the discussion of multiple choice questions from the same lesson, Principles of Inheritance and Variations. Question number 33. ABO blood groups in humans are controlled by the gene capital I. It has three alleles, IA, IB and small I. Since there are three different alleles, 6 different genotypes are possible. How many phenotypes can occur? Though the question is quite lengthy, a simple question. With respect to human blood group, you should be clear. The number of genotypes. Number of genotypes is 6. What about the number of phenotypes? It is 4. So the correct answer is option C, 4. Which are the 4 different phenotypes? Blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB and O. So the correct answer for the 33rd question is option C, 4. Okay, next, 34th question. Which one of the following symbols and its representation used in human pedigree analysis is correct? So the correct answer for the 34th question is option A. Look at the other options. Option B, wrong. Male is not represented by a circle. It is the circle represents female. So option B is wrong. Look at the option C, square, unaffected, female. Okay, again, square is used to represent male, not female. Okay, so the answer for the 34th question is option A, and that is the correct representation. Option A is the correct representation of correct representation used in pedigree analysis. Okay. 35th question. Which one of the following cannot be explained on the basis of Mendel's law of dominance? So what we cannot explain on the basis of law of dominance, that is segregation. By law of dominance, we can understand the meaning of factors, the factors present in pairs, then also the dominant factor and recessive factor. But by the law of dominance, we cannot understand the segregation concept. So the correct answer is option C. That is for 35th question, the correct answer is option C. Alleles do not show any blending and both the characters recover as such in F2 generation. So that concept cannot be explained on the basis of Mendel's law of dominance. Okay, next question, 36. The genotype of a plant showing the dominant phenotype can be determined by. Okay. So there is an organism, its dominant phenotype is known. I want to know its genotype. So what test is done? That is test cross. So the answer is option A, test cross. The correct answer for the 36th question is option A, test cross. So the genotype of a plant showing the dominant phenotype can be determined by, that is correct answer, option A, test cross. Okay. Let's move on to 39th question. Point mutation involves. What is point mutation? Mutation in single base pair. That is point mutation. So point mutation involves change in single base pair. So the correct answer is option B. Change in single base pair. Right. Next question, question number 40. Which one of the following condition in humans is correctly matched with its chromosomal abnormality bar linkage? Okay, so here among the four options, we have to select the correct matching. Let us go one by one. Klinefelter syndrome, 44 autosomes plus XXY. That is correct. Option B, color blindness Y linked. It is wrong. Color blindness is X linked. Erythroblastosis fetalis. It is not a chromosomal disorder. So that is also wrong. Down syndrome, 44 autosomes plus XO. Again, that is wrong. In Down syndrome, the number of autosomes is 45, while the number of allosomes remain the same. So the correct option is option A, Klinefelter syndrome, 44 autosomes plus XXY. So that is correctly matched. So the answer for the 40th question is option A. We shall continue. Question number 41. In pea plants, yellow seeds are dominant to green. If a heterozygous yellow seeded plant is crossed with a green seeded plant, what ratio of yellow and green seeded plants would you expect in F1 generation? Okay. So what is given in the question? Heterozygous yellow seeded plant is crossed with green seeded plant. So look here. In that case, what we get? In the offsprings, 50% of plants will be yellow, another 50% of plants will be green. So 50% of plants will be yellow, yellow colored, yellow seeded, while another 50% of plants will be green seeded. So it is like asking about test cross. The concept tested here is test cross only. So heterozygous yellow seeded plant, it is crossed with green seeded plant. So it is similar to test cross. So in test cross, what we are doing, a dominant plant with dominant phenotype is crossed with its recessive homozygous parent. So it also the same thing, indirectly as it. So the concept tested here is test cross only. So after test cross, if we get equal ratio of two different types of phenotypes, we can say the organism is heterozygous. So here the yellow seeded plant is heterozygous. That's why we got 50% yellow seeded plants and another 50% green seeded plants. Okay, so the answer for the correct option for the 41st question is A, 50-50. Right. Next question, 42nd. A common test to find the genotype of a hybrid is by, just now I told, I want to find the genotype of an hybrid. Its phenotype is known. How we are doing? By going for test cross. So the correct answer is crossing of one F1 progeny with male parent. Okay, so in test cross, the F1 generation is crossed with its recessive homozygous parent. So the correct answer is crossing of one F1 progeny with male parent. So that is the common test to find the genotype of a hybrid. Okay. So the phenotype of the hybrid is known. It is showing the dominant phenotype. I want to know its genotype. For that, we have to go for the test cross. Okay, look at the other options. In the option A, there is F2. We don't want F2 generation. Again, option B, F2 is given. We don't want F2 generation. And also, we cannot find the genotype just by studying the sexual behavior. So the correct answer for the 42nd question is D, crossing of one F1 progeny with male parent. Okay. Next question, question number 44. A human male produces sperms with the genotypes capital A, capital B, capital A, small a, capital B, and small a, small b, pertaining to two diallelic characters in equal proportions. What is the corresponding genotype of this person? So it is like, the question is like the dihybrid cross. You look at the dihybrid cross, Mendel's dihybrid cross. In F2 generation, what we call heterozygous round yellow. Okay, and the F1 dihybrid produces how many types of gametes? 4 types of gametes, all in equal ratio. So here also the same situation. The human male is producing sperms of 4 different types, all in equal ratio. Then what is asked here? What is the corresponding genotype of this person? So if you compare with the dihybrid F1, you can easily derive the genotype of this male person, that is capital A, small a, capital B, small b. It is equivalent, it is comparable to capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. So the correct answer for the 44th question is option A, capital A, capital B, small b. Okay. Next, 45th question. Test cross involves, simple question, correct answer C, crossing the F1 hybrid with a double recessive genotype. 45th question, the correct answer option C, crossing the F1 hybrid with a double recessive genotype. Again, repetition, what is test cross? Test cross is crossing an organism showing dominant phenotype with its recessive homozygous parent. What is the purpose of the test cross? To find the genotype of the organism. Okay. We shall move on to the next question. 47th question. How many different kinds of gametes will be produced by a plant having the genotype capital A, capital B, small b, capital C, capital C? Okay. So what is the question number? Question number 47. Okay. So what is asked here? The genotype of a plant is given, and we have to, by observing the genotype of the plant, we have to say how many different kinds of gametes that plant produces. Okay, so there is a formula to find the types of gametes produced, that is 2 to the power of small n. Here small n represents small n is equivalent to number of heterozygous pair. So in the given genotype, we have to know how many heterozygous pair is present. So that small n is equivalent to number of heterozygous pair. So in this case, as you can make out, there is one heterozygous pair, that is capital B, small b. So 2 to the power of 1. N is 1. So 2 to the power of 1. So how many different kinds of gametes? That is 2. So the answer is option D, 2. So the plant with the genotype capital A, capital B, small b, capital C produces 2 types of gametes. And in this genotype, how many heterozygous pair? 1 heterozygous pair. And what is the formula to calculate the type of gametes? 2 to the power of n. What is this small n? It is the number of heterozygous pair. So 2 to the power of 1. Why 1? Because here the value of n in this case is 1, because 1 heterozygous pair is present. Which one? Capital B, small b. So The answer we get is 2. So the correct answer for 47th question is option D, 2. Okay. Next question, 48. In Mendel's experiments with garden pea, round seed shape was dominant over wrinkled seeds. Yellow cotyledons was dominant over green cotyledon. What are the expected phenotypes in the F2 generation of the cross? Okay. So the 48th question is on Mendel's diabetic cross. Okay. And you know, in Mendel's diabetic cross, in F1 generation, we get round yellow seeds, heterozytes. And in F2 generation of Mendel's diabetic cross, 4 different types of phenotypes are got. So that you should keep in mind. Which are the 4 types of phenotypes? Yellow round, yellow wrinkled, green round and green wrinkled. Okay, so in the options, you look at the first 3 options. There is the word only. So all the first 3 options are wrong. So among the 4 options, the correct option is option D, round seeds with yellow cotyledons and wrinkled seeds with yellow cotyledons. Option D is the correct answer for the question 48. Round seeds with yellow cotyledons and wrinkled seeds with yellow cotyledons. So in option D, 2 phenotypes are given, but you have to understand 2 more types of phenotypes are observed in F2 generation of diabetic cross. While the other 3 options are wrong because they have given the word only. So let us take option A, only round seeds with green cotyledons. Wrong. So in all the first 3 options, only is given. So all the 3 options are wrong. In F2 generation of diabetic cross, 4 different phenotypes are observed. Okay. Next question, 49th question. Phenotype of an organism is the result of a direct question, knowledge based question. So phenotype, what is phenotype? The external appearance of an organism is called phenotype. Phenotype of an organism is dependent on its genotype. Phenotype is visible to our eyes. Okay, so the correct answer. What is the result of phenotype? Phenotype is the result of genotype and environmental interactions. So the correct answer for 49th question is option D, genotype and environmental interactions. So I repeat, the external appearance of an organism is called phenotype. Phenotype is dependent upon genotype. How is the genotype? Accordingly the phenotype. Okay, next question. 51. Hemophilia is more commonly seen in human males than in human females because the correct answer option C. This disease is due to an X-linked recessive mutation. So in males, this disease is easily seen because in males only one X chromosome is present. Its counterpart is absent. There is Y. So if in that one X chromosome, if the gene is recessive, the male is suffering from that recessive gene disorder, unlike females. So the chances of getting hemophilia, even color blindness, are more in human males than in females. It is because in human males there is only one X chromosome, and in that X chromosome, if the gene present is a recessive gene, naturally the male person is affected. Okay, next question. '57. The recessive genes located on X chromosome in humans are always This question is having some connection to the earlier question. The 57th question, the recessive genes located on X chromosome in humans are always. Answer C, expressed in males. Okay, so since in males only one X chromosome is present, and if the gene present in that X chromosome if it has become recessive, naturally the male is suffering, the male suffers, and the recessive gene is expressed if it is present on the X chromosome. So the correct answer is the recessive genes located on X chromosome in humans are always expressed in males because of presence of only one X chromosome. It is not always expressed in females because in females there are two X chromosomes. Even in one X chromosome, if the recessive gene is present, there will be a dominant gene because of the presence of another X chromosome in females. That is not the case in males. In males only one X chromosome is present. Okay, next question. 59. Lack of independent assortment of two genes A and B in fruit fly Drosophila is due to. The correct answer is option C, linkage. Okay, in the earlier video itself I spoke about linkage many times. So linkage is physical association of genes on chromosome discovered by T.H. Morgan. If the genes are linked, there is no law of independent assortment. Okay, so why in Drosophila the law of independent assortment failed? Because in Drosophila we find many linked genes. So if the genes are linked, Mendel's law of independent assortment fails. So the correct answer for 59th question is option C, linkage. Okay. Next question, question number 64. The linkage map of X chromosome of fruit fly has 66 units with yellow body gene small y at one end and bobbed hair small b gene at the other end. The recombination frequency between these two genes Y and B should be. Okay. So again, this question is testing the knowledge of linked genes, the types of linked genes. Okay, there are two types of linked genes: tightly linked genes and distantly linked genes. So in this question, the two genes are at two ends of the chromosome. That means they are very far apart. They are loosely linked genes. If the genes are loosely linked, the recombination frequency is more. So as in this question, the two genes are present at the two ends of the chromosome. They are very, very far apart. So naturally, the recombination frequency between those two genes is 100%. So the answer for 64th question is option B, 100%. Next question, 66. The genes controlling the 7 pair characters studied by Mendel are now known to be located on how many different chromosomes? Okay. Recent studies are telling us the genes corresponding to 7 main characters of pea plant, they are located on 4 different chromosomes, not on 7 different chromosomes. They are present on 4 different chromosomes. So the genes corresponding to 7 main characters of pea plant, they are located on 4 different chromosomes. That is the update. That's what the recent research tells. So the answer for 66th question, option B, 4. Okay, 67. Which one of the following traits of garden pea studied by Mendel was a recessive feature? A simple question. So among the options given, you have to select the recessive trait, the recessive character. So obviously it is option D, green seed color. The other options are dominant traits. Option D, green seed color, that is the recessive trait. Simple question. So you should be familiar with all the 7 main characters, and in every main character which is dominant and which is recessive, that you should be familiar. You can expect questions on that concept. Okay. Next question, 69. When a cluster of genes show linkage behavior, question number 69. When a cluster of genes show linkage behavior, and correct answer option A, do not show independent assortment. Repetition. So if genes are linked genes, there is no law of independent assortment. So a law of independent assortment fails if the genes are linked genes. So when a cluster of genes show linkage behavior, 100% they do not show independent assortment. So the correct answer for question number 69 is option A, right. Question number 70. In Drosophila, the sex is determined by, the correct answer is option A, the ratio of pairs of X chromosomes to the pairs of autosomes. So it is an interesting phenomenon. In fruit flies, the sex determination, of course, it is XY type, but the role of Y chromosome in sex determination of fruit flies is quite less. Sex determination in fruit flies is based on the number of X chromosomes to the number of autosomes. So that is an important point. So in fruit flies, sex determination is based on the ratio of X chromosomes to the number of autosomes. The role of Y chromosome in sex determination in fruit flies is negligible. So the correct answer for question number 70, that is option A, the ratio of pairs of X chromosomes to the pairs of autosomes. Okay. Question number 73. Okay. Genetic map is one that, the correct answer, establishes sites of the genes on a chromosome. So question number 73, correct option C, establishes sites of the genes on a chromosome. Okay. See, after studying linkage, after studying the recombination frequency of the genes, you can construct the genetic map. And when the genetic map is constructed, we can know the position of the genes in the genetic map. So genetic map gives the position of the genes present in the chromosome. It is based on the linkage phenomenon and also the recombination frequency of the genes. So genetic map is one that establishes sites of the genes on a chromosome. Okay, so that is the correct option. So question number 73, correct option C. Next question, question number 75. Which of the following is the example of sex-linked disease? The correct answer, simple question, the correct answer option B, color blindness. What about AIDS, syphilis and gonorrhea? They are sexually transmitted diseases, but they are not sex-linked disease. So sexually transmitted diseases are different from sex-linked diseases. Sex-linked diseases are genetic disorders. They are gene disorders. Pathogens are not having any role in there. While there are diseases called sexually transmitted diseases, where the diseases are transmitted by heterosexual contact and the pathogens are responsible for that. So AIDS, syphilis and gonorrhea all are examples for sexually transmitted diseases, they are caused by pathogens. While color blindness is not a sexually transmitted disease, it is X chromosome linked recessive gene disorder. Okay, next question, question number 76. Pleiotropic gene is option C, sickle cell anemia. In the other video itself I told pleiotropic gene. What is pleiotropic gene? A gene that controls many characters. One example already I gave, phenylketonuria. So there is one more example for pleiotropic gene in human beings, that is sickle cell anemia. So sickle cell anemia and phenylketonuria both are examples for pleiotropic gene. So what is pleiotropic gene? A gene that controls many characters. So the number of gene is 1. The number of gene is 1. But it is controlling or influencing many characters. Such a gene is called pleiotropic gene. So in human beings, two examples for pleiotropic gene: the gene controlling the character sickle cell anemia and also the gene controlling the disorder phenylketonuria. So in this case, the correct answer is sickle cell anemia. Question number 76, the correct answer is option C, sickle cell anemia. Okay. Question number 77. Change in the sequence of nucleotide in DNA is called as mutation. Question number 77, the correct answer is option B, mutation. Change in sequence of nucleotide is nothing but change in genetic structure, and what we call as mutation. So the correct answer is option B, mutation. Question number 88. Drosophila flies with XXY genotype are females, but human beings with such genotype are abnormal males. It shows that the correct answer is option C. Y chromosome in male determining in human beings. While Y chromosome is male determining in human beings. Okay. So 88th question. Again, what is tested here? So in Drosophila, Y chromosome is of no importance in sex determination. The important chromosomes in sex determination in fruit flies or in Drosophila is X chromosomes, not Y. But in the case of man, Y chromosome is 100% important in determining the male sex. So the correct answer is option C. Y chromosome is male determining in human beings. So Y chromosome is of no importance for sex determination in fruit flies, but in human beings, Y chromosome is important in determining the male sex. Okay, next question. Question number 89. Mutation generally produces. The correct answer is option A. Question number 89. Correct answer option A, recessive gene. Okay. So you take up the pea plant. We are denoting capital T and small t. Capital T represents the dominant gene for the dominant character tall. What about small t? Small t represents the recessive factor or allele for the recessive character dwarf. So, when there is mutation, the gene becomes recessive. So, capital T, dominant gene, dominant factor. It underwent mutation into small t, and that small t is a recessive gene. So when there is mutation, dominant gene becomes a recessive gene. So in addition to dominant gene, there will be a recessive gene. So mutation results in recessive gene. So the correct answer for 89 question, recessive, option A, recessive genes. 91. Hybridization between capital T, small t into small t gives rise to the progeny of ratio. Okay, so here again test cross is tested. So capital T, small t, it is a plant showing dominant phenotype, tallness. It is crossed with what? Recessive homozygous organism, and naturally in the progeny what we get, as I told already, 50-50. In other words, 1:1. So the correct answer is, the correct answer for 91st question, option A, 1:1. 1:1. Okay. 92nd question. Hemophilic man marries a normal woman. Their offspring will be. Simple question. What is that? Hemophilic man marries a normal woman. Their offspring will be. So, recollect. When a hemophilic man marries a normal woman, their children will not be suffering from hemophilia. I hope you got it. The female children will be carriers, while the male children will be normal. So, of course, carriers and carrier females and normal males, both are normal. So, no child will be affected. So, what is the question here? Simple question. A hemophilic man marries a normal woman. So, their children will not be suffering from hemophilia. If the child is female, she will be carrier for that disease, but she will not be suffering. If the child is male, 100% the male is not suffering from the disease. So, all the children to these parents will be normal only. That means no child will be suffering from hemophilia. The female child will be just the carrier. So, the correct answer, option B, all normal. So, 92nd question, the correct option is option B, all normal. 93rd question, which of the following is the main category of mutation? The correct answer is option B, genetic mutation. So, the most important type of mutation is genetic mutation. So, if there is change in the genetic structure of the organism, that is called genetic mutation, and that is the most important type of mutation. So, the correct answer for the 93rd question is genetic mutation. Okay. 96th question. Crossing over in diploid organisms is responsible for. 96th question. Crossing over in diploid organism is responsible for. The correct answer is option B, recombination of linked alleles. Recombination of linked alleles. Okay. So, the genes are undergoing recombination. Exactly at what stage of, exactly due to what phenomenon the genes are reshuffled? It is because of the phenomenon called crossing over. So, crossing over takes place during meiosis cell division at the time of gamete formation. So, crossing over phenomenon is responsible for the reshuffling of the genes. So, when the genes are reshuffled, there is recombination frequency in the offspring. And of course, if the genes are very closely present, the recombination frequency is very least. But if the genes are very far apart, the recombination frequency is more. Anyhow, that recombination is because of the crossing over phenomenon. So, crossing over is results in the recombination of linked alleles. So, the correct answer for 96th question is option D, recombination of linked alleles. Okay. Last question of today's section. How many types of genetically different gametes will be produced by a heterozygous plant having genotype capital A, capital B, small b, capital C, small c? Okay. Again, genotype of the plant is given. Again, what is asked here? Types of gametes. So here, capital A, capital A, capital B, small b, capital C, small c. So this is the genotype of the plant given. We have to find the types of gametes. Already I told to find the types of gametes, what is the formula used? 2 to the power of n. N represents the number of heterozygous pairs. So here, let me put the formula 2 to the power of n. So n represents the number of heterozygous pair. So in this case, how many heterozygous pairs present? 1, 2. So 2 to the n, the value of n, the value of small n is 2. So 2 to the power of 2, so that is 4. So a plant with this genotype produces 4 types of gametes because the genotype is having 2 heterozygous pair. One is capital B, small b, other is capital C, small c. So the plant with this genotype produces 4 types of gametes. So the correct answer is option B. So 97th question, the correct answer is option B, 4. We shall continue in our next session. Thank you, students.